So I was chatting with a friend the other day about FDA-approved pharmaceutical appetite suppressants, as friends will do, a little light chit-chat. And she was asking me what I thought about the use of FDA-approved chemical appetite suppressants. You know, some of these come in pill form, some of them come in shot form, and chemical appetite suppressants are not new. Many of them have come and go off the market because of dangerous side effect profiles, but there are some that are currently available with a doctor's prescription. So whether or not you should or shouldn't take a chemical appetite suppressant is completely something that you need to decide with your doctor. But what we did go on to talk about was all the things that we can do in our daily life to control our cravings, urges, and appetite. If I had to pick one problem that I hear day in and day out from women who are trying to upgrade their health or lose some weight, it's that I can start something and I stick with it for a short time, but then the urges and the cravings just kill me. Like my willpower can't do it. And so it's completely understandable that we would be tempted or be interested, right, in something that could take the edge off. So if you thought this too, that you could probably stick with a diet plan or nutrition protocol if it just wasn't for the cravings and the urges, just your appetite simply would not tolerate the restriction, then you're not alone. Hey there, I'm Dr. Jennifer Singh. I'm board certified in internal medicine and lifestyle medicine, but I left all of that clinical glamour behind to help frustrated women over 40 get fit, get lean, and basically age like a boss. Our bodies are not designed to easily release stored energy, which is really all extra weight is. It is energy that we consumed in the past that was above what our body needed at the time, and so brilliantly it gets stored. And we commonly call this weight gain. But our bodies want to hang on to that stored energy because it's a survival benefit. So prior to modern life, when human beings were still kind of living prior to civilization, this primitive part of our brain that drove us to consume energy and to save energy once we had it stored was a survival benefit, right? But now in modern life and our current everyday life and food is so available, it's really not that helpful. So when we dramatically cut our calories or suddenly stop eating particular types of food that we've been eating for a while, our brain sends a signal like, hey, this girl's trying to kill herself. So let's turn on the hunger and take away all motivation to move so that she just wants to lay on the couch. So if you've done that and you wanted to just lay on the couch and eat, your brain was pretty much working the way it's supposed to. So there are some things that we can do in our everyday lifestyle to curb cravings, curb urges, and control appetite. In today's video, I'm going to tell you about my top 5 non-drug appetite suppressants. You ready? So before I get into my top 5, I just need to define a term for a second. When you talk about appetite, like exactly what do we mean? I'm going to define it as just the desire or the urge to eat. Now, one thing that's interesting is that we think of desire and urge to eat always sort of as hungry. But if you stop and think about it for a second, you realize that we actually eat for a lot of reasons, a lot of times a day. And not all of them are true hunger. Am I right? So true hunger is like when you feel it in your body, like rumbling in your belly or a hollow feeling in the back of your throat. Many people even feel dizzy or faint or fatigued when they're truly hungry. So that's like real hunger. And then there's all the other reasons we put food in our mouths that actually are not true hunger. Many people think of that as like emotional eating, but truly a lot of it is just social too. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with any of that, except that sometimes it doesn't lead us to the health outcomes that we want. So our physical hunger is regulated by a few different things in our body, like how much your stomach is actually stretched out by a meal, by how much extra energy you have stored on your body, how many calories you're consuming on average every day, how much exercise you're getting, and your body receives all this information, and the hypothalamus sends out signals and hormones to tell you when to eat, when to stop. So if you've ever felt like your healthy eating efforts were completely derailed by urges, cravings, and appetite, just drop that below in the comments. Help me with my appetite. I'm about to tell you about my top 5 things to help curb that appetite. So just a heads up, pay special attention to number 5, especially if you are on an appetite suppressant or considering taking one, because number 5 is really critical to long-term success no matter how you lose the weight. And unfortunately, sometimes if you lose the weight without having to do some of the mental and the mindset work that goes along with it, as soon as the appetite suppression is gone, you're right back where you started. So here we go. My top 5 non-drug appetite suppressants. Ready? Number 1 is eat some dang food, okay? Food is a fabulous appetite suppressant. Now, that might sound ridiculous because what you're thinking is, I'm already eating food when I'm hungry. That's my problem, lady. But I want to encourage you to eat 3 specific types of food which are great appetite suppressants. And the reason that they're great appetite suppressants is they have a lot of stretch factor. They're loaded with fiber and fluid, like actually water, and antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, anti-inflammatories. So they are excellent at curbing cravings, curbing hunger, and providing you with a high satiety rating. So satiety is how full or how satisfied do I feel after a meal. And we're going for foods that have a high satiety rating while also being safe. You ready? Number 1, fiber-rich foods. So beans, legumes, non-starchy veggies. Filling up on non-starchy veggies or beans and legumes is incredibly helpful for a ton of reasons, but also great appetite curber, very high satiety rating. Second is fruit. Also has fiber, also loaded with water, provides a lot of good stretch factor. And also eating anything that requires a lot of crunching and a lot of actual manual labor to get it down is incredible for satiety. Think about anything you've eaten before that melts in your mouth. It is so easy to effortlessly consume tons of calories because it melts in your mouth. You can just eat so much of it. So eating an apple or anything that has some crunch or some bulk and heft to it not only causes you to work a little harder to eat the snack, which is great for satiety, but also causes some stretch in your belly, which is also great for satiety. The third kind of food that is a great appetite suppressant because it's very satisfying is plant-based protein. So I'm talking, again, beans is like slam dunk on this satiety rating, but tofu, tempeh, and other plant-based proteins. Now, one quick cautionary tale, okay? Nuts are incredibly healthful, but I can't tell you how many people I see who are mystified that their weight is stuck or that they can't lose or that they're gaining. And what they're actually doing is overeating nuts because although they're healthful, there is a ton of calories packed into this tiny little amount. So if you actually fill up on nuts, you've probably way overdone it, like gotten a lot of calories that you didn't intend to get. Okay, moving on. Non-drug appetite suppressant number 2, water. I know, snooze, you've heard it, right? I know you have, but have you ever noticed that sometimes the water habit is one of those things that you get on and you're really good about it for a while and then you kind of fall off? So if that's you, revisit your water. Almost all of the women that I work with, initially, when they start that water habit again, they all say the same thing. I am so full. I can't believe how easy it is. I am not hungry. I'm not having the cravings anymore. I call it liquid willpower. So how much water? Well, honestly, that depends on you personally. And if you have other health problems, it's something you definitely want to review with your doctor. But in general, for my members that don't have any other health problems, 2 liters a day is minimum. And it could go up to 3 or 4 liters depending on how much exercise they're getting, if they're training for an event, how much they're working out. Okay, appetite suppressant number 3, sleep. Get some dang sleep. Lack of sleep can definitely affect your hormone levels, but furthermore, it just wears at your willpower. Normally, willpower is okay first thing in the morning, and then as the day wears on and we get more and more fatigued, we get more and more likely to go into that what the heck eating, right? Where we're just gobbling all the things. If you've tried to be on a healthy eating pattern, when do you normally blow it? It's probably when you are exhausted or stressed out. Okay, number 4, stress management. What'd I just say? When do we normally blow it? When we're exhausted or when we're totally stressed out, right? So again, our willpower is limited. By the end of the day, when we're exhausted, we're overstimulated, we're probably hungry by that point. If we didn't fill up earlier on the foods that I mentioned in number 1, we've completely had it and we can go into that what the hell eating mode. So any tools that you use regularly to regulate your nervous system and help yourself cope with stress can also help you stick to your healthy habits. Reduce your anxiety and help you manage urges, cravings, and appetite. So the easiest one that you carry around all the time is your diaphragm, and studies have shown that just a few minutes of focusing on your breathing can regulate your heart rate, lower your blood pressure, regulate cortisol levels if repeated over time, and has no negative side effects. So figure out a way to get some nervous system regulation in your life. And again, meditation and mindfulness are portable, cheap, easy, and extremely effective. If you're not sure where to start with that, you can check out my video on all the apps that I use to keep my healthy life going. I've got a couple of mindfulness meditation apps over there that can be your gateway drug to mindfulness and meditation. And finally, Number 5. So remember I said earlier that one of the most important things we can do is dig into working on our brain about our relationship with food. Why do we over desire food? Of course, sometimes we are truly physically hungry, and there are things that we can eat and nourish ourselves with to help with our true hunger. But so many times we eat, it's actually not true hunger. It's all the other reasons, like maybe we're stressed or bored or exhausted, or maybe it just looks delicious and we just want a party in our mouth. So I'm a big advocate of journaling, which is really just thinking with your pen. Now, please don't roll your eyes or be too put off. We're not trying to win the Pulitzer here. We're just trying to write down some of our thoughts and feelings about episodes of eating. So one way to do this might be, if I ate something last night that I hadn't planned to eat and I overate an amount that I thought, I really should have eaten, I might just journal about that and just write down, interesting, I ate XYZ last night. What I actually was feeling was tired, exhausted, mad, bored, happy, social, right? All these other reasons that we eat. So just writing some of that down is really a great way to study yourself. If you'd like to check out some of the apps that I use and recommend to help out with these, check out my video on that. And that's all for now. So see you soon.